What's better than a talking dog? A spelling bee. Hello and welcome to Married to Autism. Dementia. That's what I'm talking about today. Now, with my limited knowledge of dementia, I will share with you what I do know. I follow a doctor/professor who is studying dementia on social media. And she says that dementia is relatively new. Now, by that, I don't know, does she mean the last decade, the last 50 years, the last 80? I don't know the time frame that she's talking. However, she says studies have shown that dementia is a relatively new ailment that people are suffering from or getting. And so most people maybe have heard that those on the spectrum are far more likely to get dementia. In fact, I think it's almost a given, but I'm not 100% sure. But then I wonder, if autism has been around for hundreds and thousands of years, why is dementia suddenly happening? Because wouldn't it have been that all people who were on the spectrum got dementia in the past? Not sure about that one, but anyway. Where am I going with this? I don't worry about my partner getting dementia because I'm pretty sure he's already got it. He is the most forgetful person I've met. Just crazy. He will have a sentence with you and say something in that sentence, and when you ask him about that word that he used, he will deny even saying it. He has no memory of using that word. He'll say, I didn't say that, because he meant something else. I mean, we all do this, right? We're trying to say umbrella, but we accidentally say rain because we're talking about using an umbrella in the rain, and then the person says, don't you mean umbrella? And we go, I said that. And, you know, we all kind of do that. But his forgetfulness is kind of beyond. He remembers certain things, like who won some basketball finale 5 years ago. But he can't remember to not cut that hedge plant that I'm growing in the garden. So he's already really forgetful. But not just that. It's really hard to remember the examples when you need to pull them from nowhere, but I guess an example would be he's talking to one of the children who says, I've got to do XYZ tomorrow. And then he goes up to that child again later and goes, do you have any plans for tomorrow? The child's like, Dad. And then says it again. And I kid you not, about an hour or two later he's asking him the same question if he has plans for tomorrow. And so the child just looks at me and is like, what? And I'm like, yeah, this is how it rolls here. So, yeah, he's already kind of forgetful. So it's not going to surprise me when he gets older that he's going to have even more forgetfulness. Obviously, what he's got now isn't really dementia. I'm obviously being tongue-in-cheek as I say that. But he's already uber forgetful. So him in the future being even more uber forgetful, I mean, it's almost like preparing me for it. Ooh, that's dark. His dad actually has dementia, and I'll give you an example of what that looks like. He came over here for a birthday party, and he stayed overnight. And he got up the next day, not knowing why he was here. He couldn't remember the party the night before, and he found it really hard to remember where the rooms were, or even the names of the rooms. So I caught him sort of wandering around the house, looking a little bit lost. And I said to him, hey, what are you after? What are you looking for? And he said, I'm looking for the place we sleep. And I said, the bedroom, yeah, it's down this way, and take him to the bedroom. And so that's what it looks like. It's very forgetful. He can remember long-term things, like the names of his sons, how many sons he has, that sort of thing, but short-term memory out the window. And I don't know if those experts have found that it runs in families. So if my partner's dad has it, does that make it more likely his children will also have it? I'm not sure. Or will only the sons who are on the spectrum, if indeed they're not all on the spectrum, I actually don't know, but let's just assume some of them are and some of them aren't, will only the ones who are on the spectrum end up with dementia? So it's a curious one. But as for forgetfulness, I mean, that's my daily. That's been my life with him since we met. He can't remember squat. So, yeah, he doesn't actually have dementia, but he's kind of really forgetful. So, you know. Over to you. What do you think? Does your autistic partner's parents have dementia? Do they have dementia? If your partner is older now and they're on the spectrum, do they have dementia? If they're younger like mine, you're noticing already that they're uber forgetful. Comment below, I'd love to hear from you, and thank you for taking time to watch this video. Hope you appreciate it. I mean, I hope you found it interesting, is what I'm trying to say.